What's up, everyone? It's Tim from TimPlaysAGame here with TimCast Episode 8. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a couple things involving Smash Ultimate coming to the Nintendo Switch in December. We got some new details today in an interview with the director, Masahiro Sakurai. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. We also got, I discovered a rumor on 4chan about that may detail 11 new characters to the game. Again, take that with a grain of salt. And we will also be talking about Nintendo rolling out a new, more hack-resistant Switch hardware. But first and foremost, let's talk about this interview. In the description below, you can see the sources. I have Sakurai. There was an interview done today by Nintendo with the director of Smash Bros. Ultimate, Masahiro Sakurai, via Switch News. A couple things. I'm not going to read the whole big long article. It's like 2 pages long. If you want to check it out for yourself, do so. The links are in the description below. When asked to describe the game to new players, Sakurai said that Smash Ultimate would be for casual gamers. He actually used the words casual game for all players, so that's interesting since Smash has always been a very competitive game for very hardcore gamers. It's going to be interesting this time around to see a casual Smash game. Previous Smash games were always focused on pleasing advanced players and was considered too intimidating for new and casual players. Sakurai wants people to have fun with this Smash Brothers game and, let's see, without being scared, and he feels that he has created a game with that intent. So I'm really looking forward to this game. As always, you know, I always play games that are, I try to play games that are casual, not so much competitive. Well, a good balance of competitive and casual. Splatoon 2, Fortnite, Paladins, Mario Kart, ARMS, the list goes on. Let's see, I just want to point out a couple big points in this interview. Sakurai revealed that this Smash Brothers game will do what was considered to be impossible in previous games. For example, having all the characters from past Smash games in it, plus new ones, and not gearing this game towards a core audience. The last point I thought was a little surprising. Now, because it's always been geared, like I said before, to reiterate, it's been geared towards advanced players. It's been geared towards skilled players. I know some people, McLeod C says he's always played Smash both casually and competitively. Awesome, buddy. I love that. I'm looking forward to see how they handle this game. Let's move on to another point. Smash Bros. Ultimate will be more of a sense of tempo than speed. What do I mean by that? What I gathered from the article, there will be new features where fighters will be launched faster when hit, but will regain control slightly faster to keep the tempo of the game consistent. Because in previous Smash games, you get smashed sky high and not knocked out. It takes a while back to hit the ground. You fly in this game. I guess you're gonna fly up further. I think I saw that in the E3 demos they did. The characters get knocked up faster. They get knocked higher faster. But they regain control at faster from previous games. Sakurai says the aim of this game will be to have a well-paced gameplay experience. Now, in Smash, from what I've always seen, people get attacked after they take damage. After they've taken some serious damage, they get hit further, and it takes them a while to either get back to the ground or get back to the edge of the stage so they don't die. That creates a sense of fast pace and then slow pace, and then it just kind of it's all over the place, really. It gets faster, it gets slower, but from what I've saw at E3, this game should be at a much more brisk pace. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let's see. Considerations have been made in regards to buttons and allowing short hop attacks by pressing buttons simultaneously to make the controls easier and keep a good tempo. That's another point I wanted to make from the article. A couple smaller points. Items will make it easier for less skilled players to have a chance at winning. That's always been the case with Smash. You know, if you want... a lot of people want items. Some people want no items at all. The more skilled players want no items. I understand that. And let's see. Two characters that were talked about. Ridley has a down special attack that deals a high amount of damage in one hit from a certain sweet spot, which will be easier to hit in a 4-player match than one-on-one. I think I saw that in some of the E3 demos they did. There's this down special attack. If you hit it at the right spot, if you hit the right spot, it does a massive amount of damage. Now, in a one-on-one game, it'd be harder to hit that, but in 4-player mode, it might be easier for that to happen. So, another thing, Inkling. Yes, Inkling. In a 4-player match, Inkling will require you to target a certain player by covering them in ink to be more effective. That's the aim of that character. You know, you cover them in ink, they take more damage from your attacks. In one-on-one, Inkling will be very difficult to deal with, but in a 4-player match, it'll be much, much easier. You just have to not be... You can tell who he's targeting. That's who he or she is targeting. Let's see. Another interesting point that was brought up, the whole zooming mechanic. There are actually 2 types of zooms. The special zoom and the finish zoom. The special zoom occurs when a special move that deals a lot of damage hits in something like a one-on-one match, and the finish zoom occurs with a flash of light. For example, a hit against the last person in a stock match that looks like it's going to end the match. These zooms will be used to help create a sense of impact and intensity in battle. Let's see, and one more final point I want to make, and you can always read the article yourself. I encourage you to, because there's a lot of information in it, some personal beliefs of what he wants this game to be. In regards to adding the slowdown to the repeated dodge roll mechanic, this was done to add a penalty to what he calls timid gameplay, like using the dodge rolls repeatedly, and I've seen that a lot from Smash, from when I played Smash Brothers in the past. People use dodge rolls way too much. They're passive, then they wait for an opening. They wait for you to attack, that creates an opening, and then they attack. I always thought that was good gameplay, but at the same time, it's very annoying. So, and that's the most of the article right there. He also talks about, he thinks that it's weird that Ridley became captain of the space pirates in Metroid. I will be looking forward to see what else he can do with this game, and that comes out in December. And moving right along to the next topic, there's a new rumor that may reveal 11 new characters for Smash Brothers Ultimate. Now, take this with a grain of salt. I found this rumor on 4chan. I think GameXplain covered it pretty well. But the new rumor, I'm gonna post that up right, where is it? There it is, right above my head there. This was what was leaked on 4chan. Supposedly, again, may be totally fake, maybe real, who knows. This details the 11 new characters that will be revealed over the course of the next 6 months, starting this month. We got code names like King, Ponytail, Old Man, Archer, Warrior, Secretary, Mech, Rhythm, Folklore, Doll, and Prime Ribs. I figured this would be fun because it gives us a chance to speculate what they might mean by that, if it is true. Now, of all the things I've seen on 4chan, you can't, again, very well give it any credibility. Fire Soul wants Goku in Smash. I'm getting to that. King. Okay, first let's talk about the first one. King and Ponytail will be said to be revealed in a mini direct in July. Now, King and Ponytail. The codename King may refer to a number of characters in Nintendo games that were known as Kings, but one character that we've all speculated for the longest time to be in Smash is King K. Rool from the Donkey Kong Country series. That's Very likely, especially if the codename Ponytail is to be Dixie Kong, also from Donkey Kong Country series. Those two characters are probably, I mean, if they're going to be revealed at the same time... if they're going to be revealed at the same time, then yes, both characters from the same series, that would make sense. Let's see, there's another character coming out to be revealed at this year's EVO in August, codenamed Old Man. This one may be the most likely of them all. Heihachi from Tekken is what most people are speculating. I'd agree with them on that because not a lot of old man characters that can be seen fighting from any game series. But yeah, I think in past games, the directors of the Smash series have been talking about adding Heihachi from Tekken into Smash Brothers when it comes to third-party games. I would love to see Heihachi in representing Tekken. Have it out with Ryu. That'd be awesome. Moving on, another character codenamed Archer will be revealed in a direct in September. Now, this one could go multiple ways. There are plenty of archers in video games from all around. Inkling Boy says Nani. But one character, let's see, two of the characters that I think one could be, it may refer to Decidueye from the Pokemon series. As you know, Master Roshi. Fire Soul says Master Roshi's. I thought that too, man. I thought the same thing. Jackie Chun. Okay. Old Man will be revealed. Yeah, that's Tekken. Okay. Archer may refer to Decidueye from Pokemon because he does use his feathers as an attack and uses them like a bow and arrow. I think a less likely character who I was hoping for since Hyrule Warriors was Linkle. Fire Soul says Archer Queen from Clash of Clans. That would be awesome if Clash of Clans got represented in Smash, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see. So yeah, definitely one of those two characters, but Decidueye seems to be the most likely one. Moving on, Warrior and Secretary will be revealed in a Smash Ultimate Direct in October. That will be just 2 months before the game happens, or the game releases. Now, Warrior could refer to anyone. Any character in any game ever. Some people are speculating Goku from Dragon Ball Z. As you know, we got Dragon Ball Fighter Z coming to Nintendo Switch real soon. Some people are saying Goku. Some more likely one would be Simon Belmont from Castlevania. That's the one I speculated. That will be interesting to see if that happens. And then there's the codename Secretary. That one seems to be way more specific to from what I've seen. I would say Secretary refers to Isabelle from Animal Crossing, and I know I'm mispronouncing this name. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that name. I was gonna say Phoenix Wright from the Phoenix Wright series, but he's not really a secretary. He does have a secretary, but that doesn't really fit. Next up, Mech will be revealed in a surprise announcement. Mech could refer to Elma from the Xenoblade Chronicles X series. Simon Belmont is a get-out-of-jail-free card on the Smash Ultimate leaks. I love that. Yeah, but Mech refers to Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think it's interesting that Nintendo's referencing... I mean, if they're gonna push any type of Xenoblade character, it would be, you think it'd be someone from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that just came out, is getting some DLC packages in December. You think they'd want to push that with Smash Brothers the same way they did Fire Emblem, but it looks like Xenoblade Chronicles X might be getting a little bit more advertisement from this game. So again, that could go many different ways. Mech could refer to a lot of different things. The mechs maybe from... this one's way out of left field. Lost Sphere. If anyone played that game, I played it for a little while. Didn't Didn't get a lot of recognition, but it wasn't that great of a game to begin with. And then finally, the DLC characters, Rhythm, Folklore, Doll, and Prime Ribs will be revealed post-release. So, these ones are probably the most fun to speculate on. Rhythm could be anyone from the Rhythm Heaven series. Most people are speculating Chorus Kids. I haven't played Rhythm Heroes, so really I'm gonna let you guys guess on that one. Folklore. Most people are speculating Amaterasu from Okami. That one, because Okami deals with so much folklore, it's ridiculous. That one's kind of a given if that's true. There's also a character codenamed Doll. That one, I think, is probably Gino from Super Mario RPG for the SNES. A lot of people were demanding that character. They gave you the clothes for him for your Mii fighter, but that didn't really go over too well. But if they did that, I mean, they did that for Inkling. Think about it this way. They did it for Inkling, where Inkling, they had Inkling clothes for your Mii in the last Smash Brothers, but then they decided to do a character of it this time around. Same thing could hold true for Gino. It also could, interestingly enough, this is what I believe, it could be a reference to Mimikyu from Pokemon, because Mimikyu is dressed up as a doll, as a Pokemon doll. But that's a bit of a stretch. Final character, codename Prime Ribs. Some people are speculating it could be anyone from the Metroid Prime series. Also a bit of a stretch, but the more popular opinion would be Ninten from Mother, since Prime Rib is his default favorite food. That would be interesting because, to my knowledge, I don't think Mother ever released in English in America. It was exclusively a Japanese title, and that would be awesome if they did that, and then eventually released Mother on the Switch in some type of form. Maybe with the Nintendo Online service, they'll release that as one of their games. But I definitely Doll one could be Annabelle. Love that. Okay. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to think about this. This is definitely a wild rumor. I would love to see what other people think. What are your predictions for some of these code names? I thought this would be more fun. Oh well. Moving on to the next story. This will be the last topic of the night. Nintendo is reportedly rolling out more hack-resistant Switch hardware. Link to this article is in the description below. I'm going to be reading directly off the page. Forgive me for doing that. But apparently months ago, word leaked out to the public of an unpatchable exploit method that allowed Switch users to run custom firmware, homebrew code, and even pirated software on all existing hardware. Now Nintendo is reportedly selling Switch systems that have been fixed at the factory to protect against this exploit. The report comes from prolific Switch hardware hackers. I know I'm pronouncing this one wrong. Skyrzam, who writes that at least some Switches currently on retail shelves are not vulnerable to the cold boot exploit known in hacking circles as, I know I'm pronouncing this one wrong too, Fusigili. Skyrzam suspects that Nintendo has used the iPatch system on the system's NVIDIA Tegra chip to burn new protective code into the boot ROM, cutting off the USB recovery mode overflow error that previously let hackers in. Obviously. So let's see, continue reading on. These boot ROM iPatches are relatively simple for Nintendo to implement in the factory when the system is manufactured, but they are impossible to load onto the tens of millions of Switch units that had already been sold before the exploit was made public. That's just the first part of the article. So what does this mean? Basically, at one point, the Switch hardware is going to be different. It's going to be more hack resistant, not hack proof, but hack resistant. Now, if you bought a Switch now, if you buy a Switch now, hackers may want to pay more for this type of Switch if the new one becomes much more difficult to hack into. Because I'm reading off the article again. The newly protected Switch hardware is reportedly loaded with firmware version 4.1.0, which has been outdated since the release of version 5.0.0 in March. That suggests these units are not sporting a new, more secure version of the NVIDIA's Tegra chip, known internally as Marico, which was first hinted at in the code for that version 5.0.0 firmware. So, yeah, Swyatt makes a good point. Knowing how ridiculous Nintendo Switch hacking has become, thank goodness they're trying to update the hardware. I do like that idea, but at the same time, it doesn't solve the problem. It treats the problem, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It shows that Nintendo is aware of the problem, that they are taking steps to correct it. Nintendo has banned any system that has been noticeably hacked, and they've banned them from all online gaming, all online connections with the Switch. It's not so much the account, it's the system itself. So yeah, Nathan makes a good point. He bought his Switch last year of April. That one's fine. It's gonna probably be sometime. If I'm actually taking a guess here when this is gonna roll out, I'm looking at the article again. Yeah, probably it would take a few months. That's just a wild guess, really. But point is, the current Switch might become more valuable to hackers because it'll be easier to hack. Personally, I don't support hacking. I've always felt like, play the game, have fun with it. If you can't have fun with it, if you have to hack a game to have fun with it, if you have to manipulate something so much to gain any type of enjoyment, entertainment value out of it, you're wasting your time. It is a waste of time. Again, but if you like doing that sort of thing, hey, have fun. But, yeah. Let's see, I'm going back to the article, looking a little bit more into it. The older firmware also suggests that protected Switch units were manufactured and eye-patched earlier this year, well before the Fusi Geely exploit went public in April. That's not too hard to believe. Both Team Fail Overflow and Team Reswitched, which discovered similar Switch exploits while working separately, have said they provided quote-unquote responsible disclosure details of their exploits to Nintendo and Nvidia months before going public. It seems that Nintendo may have used the head start to get protected hardware to market a little sooner than would have otherwise been possible. Nintendo has not responded to a request to comment from Ars Technica. Ars Technica are the people who is the site where the article was posted. I want to give them a special thanks. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what more steps Nintendo takes to protect against hacking. Nathan Ornelas says he hasn't found any hackers in Splatoon or any game. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos where people have hacked Splatoon and Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do. I've seen some data miners. They found a new mode in Splatoon 2, which if you've seen the 8-ball mechanic from Octo expansion, apparently we're gonna be getting a new ranked mode, maybe, where you have to push that 8-ball from the center of the stage to the goal. That'll be fun to do. I mean, if it works out again. That mode may never be released. Who knows? But it's not a problem that's going away. But Nintendo is taking steps to discourage it, and I applaud them for that. So that is going to wrap up tonight's podcast here. We had the interview. If you want to take a look at any of the articles I discussed, all that's in the description below. Later on tonight, speaking of Splatoon 2, we will be doing a Splatoon 2 live stream at midnight Eastern. Come back in about 90 minutes for that. That is going to wrap things up for tonight's video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to TimPlaysAGame. Stay tuned, midnight Eastern tonight. We will be doing a Splatoon 2 live stream. And tomorrow night we're going to be doing a Paladins live stream. I'm going to try working that into the live stream schedule. Nathan Ordell says, I still remember I found a hacker in Mario Kart 7. The hacker used so much items. Blue turtle shell, blue turtle shell, blue turtle shell. and yeah, so stay tuned for those live streams, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe. This is Tim from TimPlaysAGame signing off. And have a good night, guys.